Hey everybody, how are you? Happy day to you. I hope everybody's doing well. It's so beautiful. The weather's been very nice for a few days. Makes us have a lot of hope that the weather's starting to change and we can start to get outside a little bit more. My name is Kelly, if you don't know me, and I'm very happy to be here with you. And today I'm going to talk to you about our breathing. If you remember last week, I used this Hoberman sphere, which is wonderful. And I'm going to connect it with sleep preparation and trying to make our sleep happen for us. I know a lot of us are struggling to get a good night's sleep. And when we go into our bedroom, we might try reading a book while we're in bed, or some of us are using an app on the phone, playing a word game. But our brain just doesn't shut off when we expect it to or when we want it to. And then sometimes people can go into bed and then they fall right to sleep, but they wake up in a couple of hours, and it's not just to always use the ladies' room. Sometimes they're just wide awake in a few hours, and it's a real struggle to get back to bed and to fall back asleep. And you probably all know how important a good quality sleep is on a regular basis. If we're not getting good sleep, it's really depriving us of so many benefits of our health and our mental well-being and our spirit and how we're feeling about things. So we're going to talk today about how to try to achieve that. And it's not something that's going to happen for everybody all at one time. It's really something that we need to work on every day, even if it's just for a little bit in the middle of the day, believe it or not, and then progressively as we go forward, adding more time in to make sure that we are really making it a priority in our lives to have a good night's sleep. So only one of those things is going to pertain to breathing. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. But there are a couple of other things that have been proven to really help somebody get a good night's sleep. And one of them is preparing our bedroom for that sleep. One thing that we can do is have the temperature in the bedroom be a little bit cooler. That might be hard to do, especially if your thermostat is in your room, because if you open the window, then your heat's just going to run like crazy. We certainly don't want that to happen to you, but if your thermostat's in another room and you can maybe open your window just a little bit just to get the air temperature a little bit cooler, that's very, very helpful for people. It's a natural response for us to kind of hibernate when the air is cooler in the area that we sleep in. Then the other thing is to be sure that we don't have any blue light or interruptive light. So a blue light could be even that little blue light that's on our television set, or the red light that's on an alarm, a digital alarm, or any exterior light coming, say, from a street light. We really want to try to get all of that light pretty much invisible. I've actually had people put a piece of tape over the television light, the little blue television light, because in order for that light to go off, they had to unplug the TV, which was really kind of a project. It wasn't convenient. So a little piece of electrical tape over that tiny, it's not a light bulb, it's just a little light, can shut that blue light off. Those are lights that can keep us awake at night without us even realizing it. So the first thing that I recommend is reducing the temperature in your bedroom. And then the second thing I recommend is getting rid of any light that you can control in your bedroom. The third thing is, and this was really hard for myself personally, because I love to get into bed and read a book or maybe watch a quick TV show, but they recommend that what we do in bed while we're retraining ourselves is to sleep. And if we're not able to fall asleep within a reasonable amount of time, they really suggest that we get out of bed and go sit in the living room and read the book, or go sit in the living room and watch television for a little while, and then go back into the bedroom and try once again to fall asleep. They also suggest that we stop drinking caffeine very early in the day. This was another change that I had to make personally, because I could drink coffee until around 11 o'clock in the morning, but that was really too long for myself, and I have to be done with my caffeine by around 9:30 or 10 for me to not really feel the effects of it later on in the day. Everybody's individual when it comes to that, but they don't recommend anything past 12 or 1 o'clock for any caffeinated drinks, and that includes not just coffee and tea, the ones that we think of as caffeinated, but sodas, and also anything that has a high amount of sugar in it that you're drinking right before bed. So you want to really steer clear of those things that give you a ton of energy earlier in the day. Another thing is what time we have dinner. We don't want to go to bed within 3 hours of the time. We don't want to eat dinner within 3 hours of the time that we are going to go to sleep for the night. So you want to have your dinner. And if you feel hungry, if you're a nighttime eater or a nibbler, it's probably okay to have a very light snack before you go to bed. But they recommend that that snack is something that's not a lot of carbs, maybe a little bit of cottage cheese, maybe a few bites of yogurt, a small piece of a banana, something like that, just to hold you over until the next day. It is fine for you to have water before you go to sleep. Actually, sometimes water is very good for people before they turn in for the night. However, that might be the cause of you waking up earlier in the morning if you've got to use the restroom. So if you find that that's happening, back your water up by just a little bit of time before you head into the bedroom for the night. So those are some really nice suggestions for us to prepare our bedroom and ourselves and our lives for getting a better night's sleep. So let's say that we've done all that, we've made our room nice and cool, we've set some ambiance in our room so that when we look at our room, when our brain sees what our room is, it really induces, it really wants us to go and have a good sleep. So having things set up like your pillows fluffed, having a neat bed, folding down your sheets so that it looks like it's ready for you to just slide in, these things can really help prepare our brain for a nice night's rest, a solid sleep. Aside from doing that, and then reducing the amount of time between the time that we have caffeine and eat food and the time that we go to bed, and also, increasing that time, and also no fitness at night either. We want to make sure that we're not exercising within 3 to 4 hours of the time that we want to actually lay down and go to sleep. So let's say that we've done all that, and we're in our bed and we're like, oh boy, what do I do now? I still feel like my mind is racing, that I still have so many different thoughts, and I forgot to do this today, and I don't want to forget to do that today. We really need to allow ourselves some space to let some of these things go. If something's really eating at you, you're probably going to need to get up, go in the other room, and make a list of things that really aren't leaving your mind, that you're afraid that you'll forget, or that you might have forgotten about today that you need to do tomorrow. Put those on a list, and then you'll feel like, well, if they're on a list, I won't forget them. I've done what I can do for today. And then go ahead back to bed. And this is where our breathing is really going to come in. We're going to get in under our sheets and our blanket or our weighted blanket. Weighted blankets are very popular right now. I'm not sure if you've heard about them or read about them, but they are helping a lot of people reach their sleep, what they would like to reach for sleep. So once you're in your bed, we're going to do a little bit of a different breathing pattern than what we had done the other day for relaxation. It's a little bit the same, but we're actually going to think about our breathing as a square. And what I mean by that is we're going to inhale, and here's one line to the square. So we'll inhale through our nose. Then we're going to hold that for just a moment while we draw the top line of the square in our mind. Then we're going to exhale gently on the way down, and then hold the exhale while we draw the bottom of the square. So let's practice that a little bit, and I am going to use the Hoberman sphere for that as well. We're probably not going to breathe quite as deeply as we did when we were doing conscious relaxation breathing, because this is really a time for you to start, instead of focusing on that breath, it's really a time for you to start, yes, you will be thinking about the breath, but what we really want to start focusing on is relaxing and letting things go for the night. So we don't want to make this work too strenuous on the brain. So the pattern that we would want to breathe in would be just like this. We would inhale up and fill our lungs up. Not all the way. Like I said, we want to be a little bit gentler on ourselves. Hold it as we go across the top of the square. And then exhale on the way down. Hold the exhale across. Inhale up. Hold. Exhale down. Hold. Inhale up. Hold. Exhale down. Hold. Inhale up. exhale down. Hold. Very good. So I'm going to stop that for now. And you've got the pattern that you could do. Another thing, if you find that you're doing that pattern and you might feel a little bit bored, like you've done it so many times that it's just almost innate for you to do it, like you don't really have to think about it, then try starting on the opposite side. So we would inhale up over here, hold, and exhale down, and hold. Try changing the direction of your square breathing. And that's another really nice thing that can help us as we are trying to fall asleep at night. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. Let's just take a quick review of different things that we can do to help ourselves get a better night's sleep. One thing is to stop caffeine at the very latest, say by noon or 1. The second thing would be to stop all other caffeinated drinks such as soda and anything with high amounts of sugar by 12 or 1. We're also going to stop eating heavier foods like a meal at least 3 hours before we go to bed. And then we can have a snack, but it should be a high protein, lower calorie snack that's easier to digest. Cottage cheese is wonderful because it has a natural occurring casein protein that will keep us full through the night. It's kind of a slow digester. Cottage cheese is great, yogurt is good, and a small piece of fruit, like a small piece of a banana. Banana has potassium in it, which is another reason that it can help us sleep at night. And then we're going to make sure that our room is slightly cooler than the rest of our home, and also that we have gotten rid of any artificial lighting in our room, such as the blue light on the television or the light that's coming from our alarm clock. Even if you can turn your alarm clock around, if the light's not bothering you at that in that direction, that would be okay too. If you have any blinds that might need to be repaired or restored, do your best to just move it around so that you're not getting any light from the outside from a street light or anything like that. And make your bedroom like your little domain, your palace for peace, and do pretty things in your room. Sometimes essential oils like a little bit of lavender can be wonderful for enhancing our sleep. It's scientifically proven that a high quality lavender can work very well in the room that we're trying to sleep, and it can really induce a deeper relaxation. Then we're going to do any reading or television watching, hopefully before we go into our bedroom. If we can't sleep and we're tempted to read or watch television, we're going to try to get up and go into the other room and do it for a little while there. Then once we are in our bed, we're going to walk into our bedroom. It's going to be cool. It's going to have, it will have light for us to be able to get safely into our bed. But then once we're in our bed, there's no light. But when we walk in, it's going to be cool, and the sheets are going to be down. The pillows are going to be fluffed. There might be a little bit of lavender or an essential oil smell in the room, something natural. And we're going to get under our covers, make sure all the lights are off. We're going to get nice and comfortable, and we're going to do the square breathing just for a couple of minutes, say maybe 10 minutes, and I think that you'll be on your way to a wonderful sleep. So I hope that this is helpful to you when you do try to go to sleep. I know things are very stressful for people right now, and also our schedules have really kind of gone upside down on us, so we're dealing with a lot of different things that can interrupt our sleep. And I hope that this is a little bit helpful for everybody, and that you are able to get a wonderful night's sleep. And I will see you next Thursday.